Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video we're going to be going over the rest of June and the conditions and pattern you could expect for the last few weeks of June. Now before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now for today's comment of the day, I want to know, how do you hope the rest of June goes? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now let's get into this video, and we're taking a look at the conditions today. And if you live, well, I live in Virginia, and if you live anywhere near Virginia, you know it's been quite cold compared to normal. Actually, yesterday I posted a picture to my Twitter and our Facebook group, Weather Freaks. You can follow and join both of those in the pinned comment down below, by the way. But it was 65 as a high yesterday here in southeastern Virginia, which is not very common whatsoever. And you can see that there is that deeper blue and purple bubble sitting over to the eastern United States. And we're basically going to just be tracking that and seeing when that's going to head out. So we have warmer than normal conditions over the Midwest, though. Let's go ahead and move on towards tomorrow afternoon, which is going to be Wednesday, June 17th. And you can see that cold is still around for the southeast, but the northeast and the Midwest and the Great Lakes begin to warm up, and actually we're seeing well above average temperatures for some of those pink and deeper red colors. And this is that big warm up we were talking about a week ago in one of our videos. And sure enough, there it is for New England, the upper Midwest, and the Great Lakes. Now, we're about to move on, and we're going to start talking about Thursday. We're just going to move on where we're going to start to see that cool down for the southeast come to a pretty quick end, and then we're going to see if the warm temperatures can return. All right, now here we are by the time we're at Thursday afternoon, June 18th. And you can see we have slightly to moderately below average temperatures there for the southeast still, but nowhere near those pinks that we had the day before. So it's going to be warming up a little bit, still below average, but warming up from the days prior at least. Also, the warmer than normal conditions for the Midwest are kind of coming to an end, but we still see it for the Great Lakes and the New England states, where it's probably quite pleasant by this point, with those deeper reds and even pink colors showing up for especially upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, and a lot of it up there for Canada as well. Probably very warm temperatures and probably feeling pretty nice. All right, now let's go ahead and take it to about Friday afternoon, and you can see those conditions stick around for the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the northeastern United States, New England probably even warming up by this point, so very, very nice conditions. However, we still see those lighter blues around for some portions of the mid-Atlantic and the southeast states. But the good news is it's kind of weakening. The cool down is by this point, so we are going to start to see this become more and more pleasant as time goes on. We do have some colder than normal conditions up there for the upper Midwest, the Rockies, the Great Plains, even some of the southwestern United States as well. But take a look up there at the northwestern United States, and we see some quite, I guess, moderately above average temperatures, maybe even highly above average temperatures. That's probably due to our positive PDO, and we're probably getting into a little bit of a positive PNA pattern as well, which is typical to bring above normal temperatures for those regions. All right, now we're about to move on towards Saturday, where we're just going to see this pattern pretty much persist, and we're going to watch it as it kind of evolves over time. All right, now here we are by Saturday afternoon, and as you can see, we're still seeing some of those colder than normal conditions for the Rockies and the upper Midwest, but we're still seeing some of those warmer conditions for the Northwest and the Northeast, as well as the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. Still, for Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, we are still holding on to those little bits of colder than normal conditions. It is just not wanting to go away. It's going to get very tiresome because we're going to be stuck in the 70s and 60s for these regions. A couple of weeks ago, we had very nice weather, very hot weather, but it is definitely turned around quickly. But we do see some warm temperatures further inland for areas like, again, the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and then up north for the New England states as well, where we are basically having a heat wave by this point. It's been days and days and days of those far above average temperatures. All right, now let's take it to June 21st, Sunday, and as you can see, the Northwest, that warm-up is starting to spread further. Also, our cool-down for the central United States is starting to spread further eastward. Typically, when you see this big warm-up in the West, that really screams, in a couple of days, we're going to have a cool-down for the central and eastern United States, and sure enough, that is taking place before your eyes. We're still dealing with that little bit of a big warm-up for the Northeast that we talked about Again, we talked about that about a week ago, but it sure enough is happening, and it's going to happen for multiple days. Let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're about to move on, and we're going to move towards Monday, June 22nd, where we're going to see that cool down move further south and further east, and we're going to see that warm up in the west really spread around, and we're going to start to see that warm up in the east move out. It's going to be very interesting to see this pattern progress. All right, now here we are by the time we're at about Monday afternoon, June 22nd. By the way, in this video, we're just going to continue until we bring it all the way to the end of June, until we get to the last day of June. So we're just going to keep moving on like this. Again, this is Monday, June 22nd. We've seen this cool down move further south and further east. In the East Coast, again, we're still dealing with that warm up, but it is about to move out. But the West is looking warm overall for the entire region. Now let's go ahead and take it to Tuesday, June 23rd. And it's basically just the same thing, except that cool down has finally reached the southeast. And we're really seeing this be an east-based cool down. And again, when you see that warm up in the west, the cold air will make its way towards the east. And you can see it's split up half and half in the United States. The western half is warmer. The eastern half is overall colder. Except for Maine and New Hampshire and a lot of New England, they're still holding on to that warmth, as well as some portions in the upper Midwest. Let's go ahead and take it to Wednesday, June 24th, and you can see for the southeast, the cool down starts to recede back towards kind of the central United States, and that warm-up begins to kind of win out, I guess, for the northeastern United States, and then, again, still the western United States as a whole is still dealing with that warm-up overall. Let's go ahead and take it towards Thursday afternoon, and you can see that cool down for the central United States is actually starting to strengthen, but the East Coast is starting to warm up still, and as well as the West Coast. So this is kind of a pattern that we dealt with a lot through later 2018 through earlier 2019. And really, it's a pretty unusual pattern because usually, again, you see the United States split in half where the western half is one thing and the eastern half is the opposite. But this is a pattern where the two coasts are warmer than normal and the central United States is colder than normal. It's a little more unusual, but we do see it from time to time. Again, later 2018 into early 2019, we did see a pattern quite similar to this, I think, through September, October, November, December, and in through some of the winter months as well. We saw a pattern very similar to this one. And it's not too unusual, but again, it's more common to be split down the half. Let's go towards Friday afternoon, June 26th. And again, it's basically the same story, except we're seeing that cool down move a little further south, and it's intensifying by this point. Let's take it to June 27th. This is going to be a Saturday afternoon. And again, it's basically just moving further south, and even the southeast getting included in a little bit of that cool down. As the warm-up moves further east that's in the west, the cool-down that's in the central United States will move further east as well. And that's kind of what we're seeing take place by this point. But again, New England is still above average temperatures, so you guys are really holding on to that warm-up throughout this entire model run. Let's take it to Sunday, June 28th afternoon. And again, we're seeing it progress in the same way, except by this point, this model has the West Coast cooling down, which is going to make probably the central and eastern United States warm up in a few days. So let's take it to Monday, June 29th, and you can kind of see that taking place, actually. The warm-up is spreading further south, the one that was in the Northeast and the Midwest, and we're seeing that cool-down intensify for the western United States by this point. And then by Tuesday, June 23rd, same story. We're seeing it progress in the same areas, except we still see that little bit of a cool-down for the central United States trying to hold on by June 21st. Now, what we're about to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at this in 5-day increments so we can kind of break it up for you guys. And then we're going to take a look at NOAA's 6 to 10 day outlook and their 8 to 14 day outlook to close out this video. All right, now here's that 5-day increment. First one is going to be for the 16th through the 21st of June. And as you can see, we're going to be dealing with some colder than normal conditions for the southeastern United States, and then also areas in the northern Rockies there and some of the western United States overall, I guess. And then mostly a warm up there for the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the New England states. Again, we know that pretty much holds on for most of the rest of June. Then as we take a look at the 22nd through the 27th, it does that kind of split that I was telling you guys about where the western and the eastern United States are warmer overall, but we see that cool down for the central United States. Again, it's a little bit rare. It's not as common as being split down the middle, east to west, but we do see it from time to time, and I do believe that that's the pattern we will get into. All right, now here's NOAA's 6 to 10 day outlook, and they kind of have that same thing. This is going to be for the 21st through the 25th. Again, they have the East Coast and the West Coast being warmer than normal, and then kind of for the Great Lakes through the Midwest, we have a little bit of a cool down, which is more towards the central United States. So they have it kind of split from coast to coast, and then a different type of air mass over the central United States. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, though. And they kind of have the same thing, except they have us warming up overall everywhere. This seems like a forecast where they don't really know what's going to happen. It seems like it's an up in the air type forecast. So I'm not taking this one too seriously. I don't think everywhere will be warmer than normal. Clearly here they have the West Coast being warmest compared to normal, and also the New England states and Florida down there. So if there was a cool down, it would likely be somewhere near Missouri, maybe the Ohio Valley there. All right, now for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how do you think this hurricane season is going to go? Because yesterday I made our official hurricane season forecast. You could check that out if you'd like. But Georgia Storm Tracker said this could be 2005 all over again, or I'm guessing he's alluding to the fact that it could maybe be worse. We asked you guys what you think this hurricane season will be like compared to 2005, and a lot of you guys think it could be worse. I think it's definitely possible. And I can't wait to see how it pans out. It's going to be a lot of fun forecasting all of that with you guys, and I hope you guys stick around here and watch those videos with us and watch all of those storms develop. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.